Roger, we are green light for extraction. Ammo weapons resupply inbound. Lies on HVT, going loud.
Hey guys, I'm Prodigy from Airsoft Team Kilo 23.
I'm Camo from Airsoft Team Kilo 23.
And I'm Ambush from AST Kilo 23.
Today we're checking out 4 G36s. The AIMTOP, the JG, which Ambush has, the KWA G36C, which I have, and the S&T G36CV, which Camo has. The KWA is the best.
Except for the fact that you're wrong.
And
This is
I
the
have
best.
2.
Negative. This is the best.
You know, I would agree with you, but then we'd both be wrong.
It's a good thing I'm the right one.
No, you're the left one.
So, why is this the best? I'm going to show you guys.
Not if I show you first. Apart from these other losers, I've got the S&T G36CV. So, barrel and the bore. You know, pretty good. It's got a stock bore, but it's pretty fracking good. So, for the bucking, it's good. It's, you know, admittingly some alignment issues, but it's got an H design which really improves the whole process. Nozzle is, you know, standard plastic nozzle. So the tappet plate is actually quite wonderful. It's a very flexible tappet plate. I love it. Alright, so piston, stock and plastic. I'd probably upgrade to something a little bit more reinforced, but that's just me. Piston head is also stock and plastic, and I'm going metal. The cylinder is chrome, non-ported, you know, about standard. Cylinder head is plastic. When it comes to the spring, I've got by far the best, an M130 spring. It's shooting about 410 to 430 with 0.2 gram BBs. The spring guide is a plastic shaft with a metal base. Pretty nice. The gearbox shell is, you know, it's proprietary. It can be replaced with any standard V3 gearbox shell. So bushings are 7 millimeters, pretty solid. It's all metal except for on the bevel and their bearing on the bevel. So the gears, very good. Very good gears. Quite excellent. Shimming, decent. Probably needs some more work. Okay, so the lubrication, it needs some work. Alright, so the motor is very high torque, and that's extremely important when you have an M130 spring in your gun, because you need that extra strength to pull that spring back. Switch assembly is a micro switch. It's very similar to what's used on M249s. So the AR latch, it's actually pretty good. It's stronger than most AR latches I come across. So, some extra features on this gun that I thought were kind of cool. We had a spring tension release, which pretty much means if you mess with the bolt catch a little bit, then you can release all the tension on the spring. The bolt catch in and of itself is pretty nice because, you know, you pull it back, you can make it catch just like a real gun, kind of cool. And my personal favorite is the quick change spring, where you fiddle around with the stock for a bit and you can actually take the spring out and put a new one in without having to open up the gun and get at the gearbox.
My gun's actually the best gun out of everyone's here, because I have the AIMTOP G36C, this very fine piece of machinery right in front of me right now. We got a good stock barrel, pretty good. And the same with the buckings, nice and soft, pretty good there. Hop chamber, definitely pretty good right there. Nozzle, nothing fancy, it's, you know, standard plastic. It is a cheaper gun, but you don't need extra features, it's how you use it. And the tappet plate's also pretty good. You gotta remember that this is a little bit on the cheaper side, so we got okay tappet plate. Piston's also stock plastic. And it's also got a plastic ported piston head. Not bad. We got a brass ported cylinder. Along with the cylinder head itself is plastic with a nothing fancy M100 spring inside of it. Spring guide, also plastic, and gearbox shell, standard, pretty basic. We got good old 6mm plastic bushings. And the gears, not too bad themselves. The shimming, even better, no shims, and the height was alright. Lubrication, none. We like it rough. Motor, it's got normal torque in it, nothing fancy with that M100 spring inside. Switch assembly is just good old fashioned stock. The wiring of 18 gauge gearbox and 16 gauge in the front. And FPS, we're shooting around, 350, 360, not bad. We got an AR latch as stock. And extra features, we don't have any extra features because this gun's so awesome by itself. It doesn't need fancy spring tension release and bolt catches, extra features and lipo ready. Who needs that? No one needs that. Alright, my other gun here in my other hand is the JG G36 Kilo. Alright, yes, that is a rail system, just in case for you people that didn't know that. So, it's kind of like the AIMTOP in a lot of ways. It's a cheaper gun, but, like I said before, it's not the size that matters, it's how you use it. So, for the barrel and the bore, stock, good, pretty good. Same with the bucking, also kind of soft, it's also pretty good. Hop chamber, it's good, nothing fancy. Nozzle, we got a good old fashioned standard plastic. The tappet plate, that's alright. Piston head's also stock, and it's an okay plastic we got in there. Piston head, stock piston head is ported, which is pretty sweet. Then for the cylinder itself, we got a brass ported, good for 363mm barrel. Yeah, put that on your S&T G36 CV. You can't. Cylinder head, plastic, nothing fancy. Spring is M100, good old fashioned M100s. And spring guide we got sitting here is a plastic, along with a standard gearbox shell, no fancy bells and whistles. The bushings, we got 7mm bushings with nylon, yeah. And gears are good. And the shimming, it's adequate. Then we got lubrication here. It's poor brown grease, which fortunately kind of sucks. But get what you pay for. And the motor itself, just a normal torque motor. Pull that M100 spring back. The switch assembly itself is stock and good. Then this is very similar to the AIMTOP. It's got 18 gauge gearbox with 16 gauge in the front for wiring. FPS is getting around 350 to 360. And the AR latch is stock. And extra features, don't need no extra features. So really the only difference between the AIMTOP and this one is the brass ported, good for 363mm barrel.
Whoa! No. My KWA G36C was the best, and I'm gonna tell you why. The brass barrel is a 6.05 bore, the tightest bore out of all four of these guns. The bucking, good air seal, W design, gets much better accuracy than any of these guns. Don't listen to what they say. The hop-up chamber, hey, it's excellent. Even though it's kind of a pain to get out, the wheel's a little too big for the back, so you gotta take it out the front. The nozzle, plastic, standard, nothing special. Now, the tappet plate, it's good, it's pretty flexible, it's not gonna break on you anytime soon. The piston, damn, this is the best piston you can find in any gun stock. It's made of a very special polycarbonate, it's high torque, and can take a LiPo battery or a high-powered spring very easily. Piston head's aluminum, non-ported. The cylinder, it's made of brass. It's got a port in just the right place for the 247mm barrel. The cylinder head, plastic, just the same as just about anything else, but it's got a really smooth texture. The spring, M120 spring. This thing's getting you a pretty good FPS, about 390 to 400 feet per second. The spring guide, metal, bearing. Best you can get in any stock gun. Don't listen to these other two guys, they don't know what they're talking about. Gearbox shell, high grade, most reinforced gearbox shell you can get in any gun, bar none. The bushings, 9mm bearings, best you can get in any gun. The gears, KWA's special design. It's probably the most powerful, sturdy stock gears you can get in any gun. KWA, once again, outdoes it. The shimming, perfect, did not need to adjust it in any way. Lubrication, pretty good. KWA uses their brown, somewhat thin grease that works pretty well. The motor, KWA's usual short type motor. It's got enough torque to pull the 120 spring, but probably not too much more. The switch assembly, gold plated. It's the best you can get in any gun. This is particularly what makes it LiPo ready. You can run an 11.1 volt LiPo on this gun stock, no problem. The wiring, 18 gauge in the gearbox and 16 gauge up front, just like pretty much everything else. The FPS, like I said earlier, is about 390 to 400, which is perfect for those outdoor fields that have a 400 limit. Extra features? LiPo ready. You don't need bolt catchers or spring tension release buttons or anything like that. LiPo ready steals the cake here. Alright, so we've got all 4 G36s covered. Which one do you guys think is the best? Thanks for watching. I'm Prodigy.
I'm Camo.
And I'm Ambush.
Airsoft Team Kilo 23. Take it easy, guys.